tirelessly and virtually single-handedly to give birth to the Filial Piety Society. A man of quiet grace and dignity. Ladies and gentlemen, the Executive Director and the founder of the Filial Piety Society, Mr. David Chin.
Welcome to thank you. Filial Piety Society's purpose: human beings are special kids living on the earth because they observe ethics and moral principles. However, the rapid industrial development has severely shaken the root to all of this civilization. Even among the families, the fundamental bondage between the members are losing its stirring, not to mention between men and wives and between parents and children. The trust and caring spirit is becoming more and more scarce. It is how you can help us to continue our efforts in building our only tradition for the society. In our whole, please let me thank you for your cooperation and support in advance. Thank you very much.
I'm honored to now introduce our keynote speaker for this afternoon, a gentleman and a scholar. Professor Kim graduated from the prestigious Seoul National University in Korea. He then went on to receive his doctorate from Columbia University. He has been on the faculty of several institutions, most recently that of Rutgers University and Columbia University. He is currently a professor of political philosophy at the Graduate School of the City University of New York. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Young Gun Kim.
I should like to congratulate the recipient of this year's Filial Piety Awards and to thank those who have made this event possible, particularly Mr. David Shin, and Senator Schumer, and Congressman Crowley, and their competent and outstanding staff. I regard it as a singular privilege for me to give an address in this hallowed place dear to the American people. The main purpose of my presentation is to explain the concept of filial piety in the East Asian culture. And by East Asia, I mean the region of Asia which covers China, Korea, and Japan. And this area has one common cultural heritage, and that is Confucianism. So I will be talking about the concept of filial piety in the Confucian tradition. And then, to share my views on this concept and their implications for us. For the sake of economy of time and the clarity of expression, I have prepared my remarks in the form of a series of propositions, 7 of them in fact. Each proposition will be followed by brief elaboration and comments. I wish we had time to reproduce copies of this. I have only 3 pages of the text containing propositions, but I'll read them and then explain. Proposition number 1. And these I quote, and the remarks that follow, and the elaboration that follow are intended to give content to the proposition. Proposition number 1. The bond of love between parents and children seems to be universal. But the manner in which it is manifested and the degree of importance attached to it among basic values vary from culture to culture. As the recipients of this year's award indicate, love of parents, and I shall argue also love of the parent for the children, seems to be universal. And it is no wonder that this year's recipients include people from different regions of the United States and of different cultural heritages. And I think it's wonderful that we have this meeting here, which is the heart of America. So we are talking about what is universal. But I think what my first proposition intends to do is to show that there are different ways we love our children, and different ways we love our parents. Substance is there, and yet the manners differ. Secondly, some cultures place great importance on that notion, almost exclusively. I think that is the hallmark of Confucianism. Whereas in the West, the highest obedience, the highest devotion is to be given to God. About the universal aspect of love, it is enough for me to just say that in the great Western literature, even in Homer's Iliad, there is a very, very touching story of Priam, the father of Achilles, begging the killer of his son to return his son. And it is one of the most, I think, moving story in the Western literature. And then you have story of King Lear, daughter Cordelia, not to speak of Hamlet's love for his father and love of his father for Hamlet. However, just to take one example, even the father's power, or the paternal power, was differently regarded, even in the Western culture. The Romans had a notion of patria potestas, which meant the father can end the life of his son or daughter, which is, I think, extremely different from the mainstream of Western thought. I'll skip all these small details, but move on to proposition number 2. One of the distinct characteristics of Eastern culture is the paramount place occupied by the idea of filial piety in its system of values. As I already implied, the Confucian culture is, I think, characterized by this premium value placed on filial piety. Children, and many of us can recall from childhood on, are raised with the idea that parents should be obeyed, but with love. And then when you become parents, you remembering the love that you received from your parents, you love your children. And this became the heritage which characterized the East Asian civilization. And I don't have to go into the various texts in which the notion of filial piety is explained. It is enough, however, to say that the most revered book in Chinese Confucian tradition. Confucius annex, almost from the beginning of the book, deals with the notion of filial piety. First of all, it is compliance with the wishes of the parents. And Confucius said you should never fail. But he goes on to explain that it means taking care of the parents while they are alive. But when they die, give them proper mourning, and after their death, you remember them. And I think this is a wonderful heritage that we modern people could consider copying. Therefore, I beg the Congress of the United States to continue and strengthen the social welfare program so that the individual initiative for caring for their parents and young people, their children, will continue. And I know our dear Congressman Crowley did not be reminded, but I wish other people here listen to us. Proposition 7. The principle of filial piety has proved useful in holding a family together in the traditional society and will be necessary to cope with the challenges of the modern age. What is needed is a proper balance between individual initiative implied in the notion of filial piety and the effective public programs to relieve the economic burden of individuals who wish to care for their aging parents while fulfilling their own dreams as Americans. Together, we can let our aging, sick parents bear suffering, pain. And I think we can do it.
Brooke Jameson, legislative aide of Senator Schumer's office, has brought to us a letter from Senator Schumer that she wants to show us. Brooke Jameson.
I'm actually going to ask Congressman Canon to go first because he's got the focus.
Is that what?
Thank you. Thank the Senator for him as well. That noise you heard before, the sound you heard, is an indication of the vote going on right now in the House. And I have to go from here to there to vote. And I appreciate you allowing me to go ahead of you. First of all, let me just congratulate all of your honorees. I had the opportunity to meet a number of you back in Queens. It's great to see you down here in Washington. You get to see me in action a little bit. I'll be very brief and just say briefly state what I said in Queens. I think that what this organization is about, what the society is about, is extremely healthy. And not only for Asian Americans, but for all Americans. I think, unfortunately, because of the times that we're living in, more and more people are losing touch with their family. It's unfortunate, but it is reality. With television, with all other kinds of distractions that are out there today in the media, with music, whatever it may be, there is a divide that's developing, unfortunately. And I think it's this type of society that goes back to remind all Americans of the greater values, the more important values, and things that we can learn from each other, one another. Especially for those who have lived before us, have been there, done that, seen it all. My greatest memories growing up were of an uncle of mine, Uncle Huey. We actually called him Uncle Huey because we couldn't pronounce the U, the H, Q. But his name was Hushin, as we found out later on. And Uncle Huey came from Ireland. And Uncle Huey, he knew all about plants, and he knew all about medicinal plants. He was a little bit of a witch doctor. Had all kinds of cures for everything. But he was one of the most interesting people I had ever met. He was my grandmother's brother, and someone who taught me how to play the flute and the violin. And it got me interested in music. to the point where I went on to play the accordion, play the guitar, sang in bands, sang in family functions. That was all a part of making our family so much better and so much brighter. That one individual had influenced my life so much. Although he was much older than I was. He was 88 when he died. I was 14. But in that short span of time, he was able to give so much to me. And in fact, I now have the opportunity to give to those who come after me. I'm the proud father of a brand new baby boy, and I'm looking forward to someday having those same thrills come back to me at some point, being able to teach him about things that I was taught from people who came before me. Having respect, dignifying people who are getting older, I think is one of the most important things we can do. The professor mentioned giving people the opportunity not only to live happily, but to die peacefully. And I think that's something that's so missing, in our culture today. People want outs. They don't want to deal with pain, and unfortunately, children don't want to deal with the pain of the parents. But the professor also mentioned, like he's getting older, we're all getting older, at some point we're all going to be in that position. Medicine has to catch up, has to be more helpful. In the 21st century, we hope that there will be medicines that will be there to help reduce pain, make living more livable, make you more happy. But I think the one thing that goes beyond medicine, that goes beyond anything we can humanly do physically, is the power of love, dignity, and respect. And I think that those powers transcend all medical power as well. There's plenty of things we should avail ourselves of and make use of, but there's nothing more powerful than love. And that's why I think the Filial Piety Society is an important example. There are millions of people out there who have respect for their families, who have respect for their elders. And you are recognizing 7 individuals today who in turn are representative of millions of people who do have that love and do have that respect. And they need to know there are other people out there like them, and they're a good example for the rest of America. So I congratulate all your honorees, especially those from New York, being a little biased, but from all over the country, and I ask you to keep up the good work.
We'll start off with New York. Ms. Shirley Brockway.
Where's Shirley?
I get a chance to hug you again.
You do indeed. Good to see you. Congratulations. That's wonderful. It's not yours. Here we go. All right, Shirley.
I want my own.
This is you.
That's me.
That is you.
Have Ms. Maria Hernandez, accepting from Maria Hernandez is her sister Alicia Hernandez.
Very good. Congratulations.
Mr. Mitchell Small. She's not here to, she was not able to join us today. Mr. Executive Director David Shin will accept on her behalf.
Don't miss the ball.
And from down south, from Louisiana, From the Heartland, Mr. Brad Cosenza.
You never know. Let's do that.
Hold on 1 second.
Finally, from the state of Illinois, Mr. An Hee Nam.
Thank you all again. God bless.
Thank you, Congressman Garland. Again, let me, Senator Schumer's office has sent a very warning letter, and Brooke Jameson of Senator Schumer's office was kind enough to share that with us. Thank you.
Senator Schumer regrets that he can't make it today, but he did send some letters of congratulations, so I'm going to read one of them. I'll read Mr. Song's letter. It is my pleasure to offer my congratulations to you as one of this year's award winners. It is truly a distinct honor to be recognized by an organization such as the Blyle Piety Society, which champions the importance of family. Families are the foundation of our great nation. Care and respect for our families, especially our parents, is essential to the well-being of our society. You have clearly displayed a level of selflessness to which we should all aspire. It is not often that an individual of your age is singled out for recognition by an organization such as the Blyle Piety Society. You are most worthy of this honor. It is very generous and responsible of you to take so much time to care for your parents, in addition to your schoolwork and all of the other demands in a young man's life. It is remarkable that at such a young age you have set a wonderful example through your love, respect, and devotion to your parents. I commend you and I thank you for being an inspiration to us all. Senator Charles Schumer.
I understand that Tiffany Raspberry of Congressman Crown's office would like to submit some information to Newsday, which is a New York newspaper, and she would like for some of the New York recipients, again, we're not playing favorites here today, but it always turns out that way, to gather a bit after the meeting as well. I wish to particularly acknowledge our thanks to Congressman Crowley and his office in giving us this opportunity here today. I would especially like to thank Tiffany, are you listening? Tiffany Raspberry of his office, who has graciously accommodated our ever-changing needs. So we have just a little bit more refreshments than we had anticipated last, so please feel free to join us again. And of course, we congratulate our winners of the 1999 awards. Thank you.